Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Many times we do hear parents or even grandparents talk about that after a child was born or after a grandchild was born, they got a lot of affluence, they got rich, they got fame, they got success, and so they deem the child to be lucky, and they say this child brought a lot of auspiciousness in my life and also brought a lot of luck in my life. Now, while this is said, is it true that some children or someone can truly be very lucky at birth, that they rub off the luck onto their parents, to their grandparents and other loved ones? And on the contrary, can somebody be truly jinxed or bring so much bad luck that their whole life is full of afflictions? I've made another video on do planetary placements really make you face challenges all your life. Today I'm going to talk about, are there any placements which make you truly jinxed? That means your whole life, because of certain elements in your astrological placements, can affect you to invite just bad luck or become jinxed at birth. Now we do hear stories where somebody is born in a very rich family, but the person may have some mental afflictions, the person may also have some challenges in the body with respect to some limbs, and the person is not mobile, the person has to be on the wheelchair all his life. So then the person may be born in a rich family but is not able to do much for himself and has to be dependent on others. We also know that somebody who may be born, for example, in a concentration camp, where the parents are in the concentration camp and then they are there for years together, not getting the nourishment, not getting the education, not getting the exposure, then too such a life at least the start of the life can be very challenging. However, we also know enough of success stories from those people who came out from the very concentration camps and became very famous and did well for themselves in life and also became an example. However, there may be somebody who is born in a small African country, in a very remote village or town where they don't have resources, they are born in a very poor family, they also have health challenges, and they, in spite of all their effort also, they don't have the resources, the help and support to be able to go forward. And so then the whole life becomes a life of struggle. Why is it that sometimes we face or we hear such stories more from third world countries rather than the so-called rich countries? And if we do hear very challenging life, then such examples come very rarely from rich countries or the developed countries, and we find many such examples from the underdeveloped or the third world countries. So let's look at what are the reasons where somebody can be looked at as really unlucky at birth, or maybe even called jinxed at birth, and what could be the contributing factors, including the astrological placements. Now, one thing which is important is to know that the kal that you are born in, that means the time that you are born in, and the patra that you are born in, and the region. So Desh Patra Kal or Desh Kal Patra means that the country you are born in, the time that you are born in, or the tribe or the circumstances that you are born in, to a large extent do determine what kind of luck or support or nourishment or resources that you may have access to, and you may use them to go forward. So that is one very important part of it. But what is that linked to? Which village you are born in, which tribe you are born in, which country you are born in, what kind of parents you are born in? To a large extent, being born in such a lucky circumstances can be looked at through your sanchita karma and your prarabdha karma, which means that if you are carrying a load of bad karma with you, very strong karmic debt towards somebody, then surely you may not be born in the best of circumstances. Or on the converse side, rarely you may be born in a rich or an affluent or a well supported family or circumstances, yet because some of the other issue or events or situations developing around you, in spite of your best of wishes and best of efforts, yet you may not be able to do much in your life, and your whole life may be full of struggles. So let's look at what are the other contributing factors beyond the karma. The second contributing factor is what are the astrological placements that you are born in. We find that there are children or there are people who are born with very strong yogas. However, they are born in such circumstances, such countries that they don't get the resources, and their whole life is full of struggle, and very few people with great yogas really make it. So if you have very strong astrological placements, very good yogas, then you have a better chance of striking better than the others around you. But what is the outlier? The third outlier is your effort, and various astrological texts also describe that if you have the right effort, if you have the right attitude, you have the attitude of service, you have the attitude of doing good, not going circumventing the moral, ethical moral compass, then planetary deities will be supportive of you and will bring you good luck. So it's a combination of what karma you are carrying, what your astrological placements are, and what your efforts are. The only thing that is in your control here is your effort and your attitude, which is 1/3 of what your life is about. However, the stronger your attitude is, the more effort that you put in, you can bring it up to contributing 50% of whether you will be lucky or not, rather than being dependent on 1/3 of karma and maybe 1/3 of your astrological placements. So let's look at, from astrological placements point of view, what do these texts, what do these slokas talk about, where you can head because of such planetary placements, and what kind of life you may lead. Now there are various slokas which anyways talk about being born in a good yoga and certain auspicious yogas where you will get vehicles, you will get houses, you will get riches, and you will get a beautiful spouse, you will get children. All those yogas have already been described through a Gachakesari yoga maybe, or maybe through some more auspicious Lakshmi yoga, or even a Saraswati yoga. But there are also enough challenging doshas which have been described, where somebody may face a lot of problems, including their parents suffering challenges also. So let's look into what some of these astrological shlokas are telling us for such a native. The Hora states, Yat pachitam manya janmani shubhashubham tasya karmanya pankati vyajyati shastra metam masi dravyani deepav. I translate, whatever auspiciousness and inauspiciousness one has earned in the last birth due to various deeds or karma will be known through the signs of astrology, just as the lamp throws light on the articles in darkness. This means that when a person is born, when a child is born, when the astrological chart, the kundali is made, to a large extent one can know what is the karma the child is carrying, what are the astrological placements the person is carrying, and what are the chances of the person really doing good, and in what area of life and which area of life he can do very good at. Whether his career can be in service, whether he can be a good businessman, can he be a leader, can he do spiritual work, can he do religious work. Such probabilities can be known at the time of birth through your astrological placements in your kundali, in your horoscope. And the Hora details, by auspicious and inauspicious placements of the various planets at the time of birth, the good and bad gathered due to deeds of past birth are merely indicated. But the set planetary positions on their own do not as such produce any undue effects. The concept of planets producing good and bad effects should not be rejected, as the invisible good and bad deeds of the previous birth or births are responsible for various effects in the present birth. Thus, they do not obstruct the planets from giving indicated effects. After well understanding the effects through the science of astrology, the possible evils should be warded off by japa, that is, recitation of passages from scriptures or saying prayers, preparatory rites, etc. So, enough solutions have also been given how some of these adverse placements can be overcome through both behavior, through attitude, and through certain remedies, some certain astrological remedies as well. Now, the birth has also been related to, if it's a challenging one, to some nakshatras, and some nakshatras are said to have a more inauspicious beginning for the child, and some of them bring really auspicious beginnings for the child and bring auspicious results as well. Let's look at what are those nakshatras which have been described as challenging ones and which have been described as truly really pulling down a native. Relating to inauspiciousness of birth in certain nakshatras, a shloka goes: Mool Viridda Kavya Samula Kula Haratyave Vadanti Santa Chedanyatha Tatkurute Visheshat Saubhagya Mayushra Kulbhi Vriddhi. I translate: one born in an inauspicious limb of Mula will destroy the whole dynasty. Conversely, the person belonging to auspicious limbs will receive increased happiness, prosperity, and lifespan, and will promote the family's prospects. So, one of the nakshatras which has been described as a trouble bringing nakshatra is the Mula nakshatra. The Mula nakshatra lies in the sign of Sagittarius, and a person born in a certain nakshatra means that moon should be at a certain degree in the Sagittarius sign to be born in the Mula nakshatra. And the shloka goes on to say, the child will not prove harmful to the father if the birth is in the first quarter of Mula nakshatra during night time. Similarly, the mother will not be endangered if the birth is in the second quarter of Mula nakshatra in daytime. So, what pada the child is born in is also attributed to what results the person may get. So, by simply being born in a certain nakshatra, good or bad may not come to the native, but what pada the person is born in, out of the 3 or 4 padas in the nakshatra, that will also bring certain results combined with what the person's own effort could be. Similar results have also been spoken of the other nakshatras, just such as Jyeshtha, Ashlesha, and so on. A child is to be treated as having been born in Abhyukta, inauspicious Mula, if it is born in the Prahara, equally and uninterruptedly shared by Jyeshtha and Mula nakshatras. So also the birth in such Prahara of Ashlesha and Magha. So Mula, Ashlesha, Magha, Jyeshtha, Ardra, various nakshatras and in some certain padas have been described as bringing ill luck or bad luck or even tough luck to the native at the time of his birth. And because the nakshatra is the most important attribute which directs the person's mind and how his attitude will be, thus the attitude of the native will also be in the lines of self-destruction. A shloka goes, the blemish due to birth in Uttara Falguni will be inauspicious for 2 months, in Pushyami for 3 months, in Purvashada for 8 months, in Chitra for 6 months, in Ashlesha for 3 months, in Mula for 8 years, and in Jyeshtha for 15 months. The child should not be seen by the father during his prohibited interval. So, various nakshatras have been described as bringing certain results based on the timelines that the person needs to be in that nakshatra for that particular time. That means that certain nakshatras will bring you tough luck for a longer period of time, and while you are born in certain nakshatras will bring you tough luck for a lesser period of time. However, adverse effects may vary based on what nakshatra you are born in and what pada you are born in. So the first thing that one has to do is to look at what nakshatra you are born in, and that is critical because it is the medium in which you work or through which you work. Understand the nature of the nakshatra, what language it speaks, how it behaves, what effects it manifests. Then see the relation and the dynamics between the Lagna Lord and the nakshatra one is born in. Since the nakshatra is related to the moon, it tells you how your mind is going to operate and how you are likely to think and act. So being aware is the first step to understand if you have been given the challenges and what challenges can come forward to you. If the Lagna Lord is inimical to the nakshatra Lord, that itself indicates that you have a fight on hand. So the relationship between the Lagna Lord and the nakshatra Lord is also crucial. Then check what pada you are born in. For instance, a native with the moon in the first pada of Ashwini works very differently than the moon in the second pada of Ashwini. With moon in the first pada, one has an unsteady mind, one may be attracted towards sinful tendencies, indulge in sensual pleasures and be critical of others. Whereas moon in the second pada gives one a natural affinity towards the holy scriptures, makes one multi-talented, good in appearance and an openness to learning. See how different the effects of the two padas are. Now in your reading, if one doesn't take into account these differences, then one may never know what challenges one has been born with and what are the areas of work. For example, don't be happy just to see the Lagna Lord in the 10th or the 11th or Sun in the 10th or Jupiter in the ascendant. Check the nakshatra of the other important houses, their lords and their karakas. For instance, if you have a great 5th house and the 5th lord sits in great dignity, but Jupiter, the karaka of the 5th house, is in very bad dignity, then there is no way that there will be no malefic results. So sometimes the jinx may not be to the overall chart but a certain part of it. If it is to the Lagna itself, then it is about your personality and how you come across to others, your health, your pride and your ego. This can be manifested further based on the dignity of the sun. Sometimes it could be owning property that you are jinxed with a bad 4th house, bad karakas such as the Venus and Moon and bad Mars. If you have Ketu sitting in the 4th house, in Mula or in the 6th house, then being a nakshatra of bringing challenges, a person may lose a lot in his life which he or she has built over time. And the 6th house is also the house of inimical people. So surely property could go into litigation or losses or even debts. So if you have a challenged area of life, then you may be born with the jinx in that area. Birth in a certain ghatika or period is also termed inauspicious. A shloka goes on to narrate, and I quote, birth in the relevant half of a ghatika concluding the currency of Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces as ascendant, and birth in the particular half of ghatika in the currency of Leo, Sagittarius and Aries as the cause may be cause Gandanta and consequently death. One born in such a phase during daytime will lose his father in the very first year. In case of night birth, the mother will die within 3 years. With birth in Gandanta during twilight time, the person will not be free from diseases and will himself face early extinction. So some placements can be more challenging than others for the health of the parent also. While serious consequences have been described in the shlokas, it may not be the case of actual death, but it could be that the person's parents may face severe health challenges during that time and may face problems which could be related to almost like death-like troubles that the person may face. Check for what bad karma you are born with what afflicted houses or areas one has. That is the area of work given to you. Best remedy for such jinxed placement is to work on your past karma and improving your current karma. There is no better remedy than working on the karma. If one is born in a nakshatra of sun, which may be seen as inauspicious for the lagna and the planetary placements, then one needs to ensure that the malefic effects are reduced through a blend of actions and attitude. Being humble, being conscious of one's responsibilities and acting with responsible intent and correctness is the best remedy. If one is born with malefic placements of the moon and in a bad nakshatra, then strengthening of the moon can be done with mindful focus on nurturing and caring attitude toward those who require help and care, especially young and the sick and those afflicted with mental challenges. Helping those with psychological issues is the best way to handle a bad moon placement, along with serving those who are mother-like or mother itself. If born with a weak and malefic Jupiter, helping those who can't afford education, turning to spirituality and helping others is the best way to handle malefic placements of such a Jupiter. A bad Saturn can be best handled with helping the poor, the destitute and those who are the lowest of the low categories of those people who serve us. A damned birth can be handled well through a life of values and service in the right direction. Nothing better to handle bad karma with better current karma. So, you still have a chance of doing something with your life in spite of the most challenging of placements, almost seeming as jinxed at birth. Most of your planets being in the tough placements, debilitation, bad aspects, bad conjunction, bad doshas, yet just keeping a right attitude, doing the remedies, keeping on working and putting effort in the direction of what results you want to manifest and what strengths you have been given, will be able to reduce to a large extent the so-called jinx or bad luck that you carry. So friends, this is my analysis of whether somebody can truly be jinxed or completely bring bad luck throughout his life and how one can avoid such a overall result. So please like my video, please share my video and please subscribe to my channel. If you are looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until we meet some other time, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.